Hello, third grade. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be working on addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division word problems. So it's going to be a review of all four. So let's start by going through some examples. We have the Westford Tigers sold 121 tickets in the first half of last season and 242 in the second half. How many tickets did they sell last season? So we have how many they sold the first season, how many they sold the second half. We want to know the total. So when trying to figure out the total here, we're going to be using addition because we have one part and the second part. Now we want to add them together. So I'm going to write over here. Make sure you have paper today as we go through problems for our homework so you can write out each problem. So I have 121 tickets for the first half and 242 for the second half. So I have to make sure my hundreds, tens, and ones all line up. And remember, when we're using addition, we're going to start by adding our ones together, our tens, and then our hundreds. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 2 plus 1, 3 as well. So they sold 363 tickets in total for this season. So now let's practice another one. We have a group of 48 students is going on a rafting trip. If each raft holds 6 students, how many rafts will the students need? So we have the total number of students, and we have rafts that hold 6 students each. So for this one, we're going to be using division because we have our total, we have our 48 students, we're dividing them into groups of 6. And that's how we're going to figure out our answer. If this helps, you can also draw out pictures. If I wanted to draw the raft here, I could put 6 here. One raft would have 6 here. So if I have 2 rafts, that gives me 12 people. If I had another raft, that gives me 18 people. If I add another raft of 6 students, I get 24. If I add another raft of 6, I'm going up to 30. I'm just skip counting by my 6. I'm adding 6 each time. If I add another raft of 6 students, I'm at 36. And if I add another raft of 6 students, I'm at 42. And if I add another raft, I get to 48. So it also helps if this is too difficult, we can draw out pictures. So now let's count how many rafts do I need to get to 48. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it took me 8 rafts of 6 people to get me to the total of 48. And I can double check by skip counting by 6s and see if I get to 48 when I get to my 8th finger. So let's practice our skip counting again. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. So I also could do my division that way to double check my answer. So now let's try another one. Oops. All right, so an office building has 4 floors. There are 62 offices per floor. How many offices are in the building? So I'm going to draw another picture. So I'm going to draw my 4 floors, 1, 2, 3, 4. It says there are 62 offices per floor. And now we want to know the total. So for this one, it kind of could be like our tape diagram that we've drawn where we know we have four floors times how many offices. And we want to find the total. But if there's one thing we learned about multiplication, multiplication is just repeated addition. So this could look scary. So instead, we could go 62, add it 4 times. So we're going to go 62 plus 62. So we're adding the first 2 floors. 2 plus 2 is 4. 6 plus 6 is 12. But I need to add these 2 floors too. So now I'm going to add this floor. So I'm going to say 124 plus 62. So I have 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And the 1 gets carried down, 186. So I'm going to write over here Oops, you can't see, sorry. So my first two floors give me a total of 124. When I add the third floor, I have a total of 186. But now we have to add the fourth floor. So I have 186 plus the fourth floor, which is 62 offices. And now let's add this together. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14, so I carry the 1. Put the 4 down here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So by my fourth floor, I have 248. And we just solved 4 times 62 to give us 248. Now, there are more steps, but when we see big multiplication problems like this, just know we can do our repeated addition just by adding 62 4 times. So there were 248 offices in the building. So now let's go down to our last one. Let's see if I can fit it all on the page, on the screen. All right, so last week, Meg and Dan went on a road trip. Meg drove 231 miles and Dan drove 711 miles. How many more miles did Dan drive? So we know how many they each drove. Meg drove 231. Dan drove 711. We want to know how many more miles did Dan drive. So we're going to be using subtraction. So we take this as how many Dan drove, and we're taking away how many Meg drove to figure out the total. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 3, well, we can't do that. So we have to borrow. So we're taking 1 from the 7, and now we have 11. 11 minus 3, if it helps, we can count up from 3 to 11 and see how many fingers it takes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It took 8 fingers, so 11 minus 3 is 8. And then 6 minus 2 gives us 4. So Dan drove 480 miles more than Meg. So again, just like on Monday when we're going through our word problems, take your time reading through each one to see, are we going to be using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? And remember, when we have big multiplication problems like this, we are just doing repeated addition. So it's always easier if you draw out pictures. And have fun, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, third grade.